Okay, well, I'm going to show you how to get the best start and which location to choose for Manor Lords. Now, in terms of territory, there's a lot of things you have to take into account, so I'm going to go over them. And there's a few things I want to mention. So this game is constantly being updated. So as you can see, fishing ponds is going to be coming out very, very soon. So this will also have a big impact. Now, in terms of the map, now, in theory, one of the most important things, in my opinion, is I would say the location. So if I just compared all these right now, the benefit is like places that have everything close by is very, very good because you could build, for example, a settlement, for example, let's just say, for example, over here as in line next to the King's Road, and then you can easily go to the berry deposits and the wild animals and then the clays. So this is a good setup that I like. One thing I would say as well is, in general, the ones that have the wild animals and the berries, I'd probably say are the most important because there's two things you can do now. If you're new to the game, one thing you can do is you can go here, and then once you level up, you can get forest management, which gives you double the capacity of all berry deposits, and then you can also have trapping, which allows the passive ability of meat. So if you ever do start a game and you find that you're struggling with food, these are two to go with. Now, what I typically like to do is I like to go with something like this. Now, I like to, ideally, the berry deposit, I could always buy food, but in terms of real money makers, I do like the rich deposit. So something like clay, or my favorite is iron. So, an iron deposit, normal ones, for example, I don't have that much iron, but the rich ones have a significant amount of iron. Now, why this is beneficial, especially if you go down this tree over here, you can get the deep mining. Now, the deep mining development allows you to basically have an infinite amount of iron ore, essentially. And the benefit of that is you can use that to create iron bars that you can sell to make money. You can sell the iron ore, and also you can make armor with it and then sell the armor. So in terms of like financial point of view, I actually really like the iron. I just find that it's probably one of the most useful resources, personally speaking. So in my opinion, what I would try to do is I would try to get something like an iron ore that has a rich deposit. And then I'll try to get a wild animals rich. I think if you could have, in a perfect ideal world, if you could have both of these, that would be the perfect setup because you can then very, very easily have basically a lot of money that you can use, and you can trade the iron ore and you can export it and make a lot of money. And then for food, you can go with wild animals, and then you can also, you'll have double the supply, as you can see like this, a rich deposit. So food and money would give you the best start. So that's what I would say. As I said, look, there's going to be some things like water and fishing ponds, so that's probably going to be added in different maps. So these are just something just to take into account. One other thing I would say is, in terms of location, it kind of depends. Maybe you can argue the further you are away from your opponent, the benefit is that they can argue they will conquer places nearby. Now, personally, I just prefer the regions that are like quite big like this. The only downside is, as you can see, some of these berry deposits, they're not in a good place. So what you could do, a little bit of a quick tip here, but let's just say, for example, you have your location here. Now, let's say, for example, the hunter region. What you could do is you could build a hunter camp, and you could actually forcibly move the wild animals location. So you can see, look, I got it right next to the iron deposit. So then I can then put like a mining and then a hunter's camp or whatever, and I can force to get them together. So that is the main benefit, is that you can actually push and force the animals to migrate into different areas. Something just to take into account. So if you want to create like a perfect system, that can be something that you can do. And that is pretty much it. And look, if you don't like it, let's say, for example, you don't like the setup that you have, you can just go to the main menu, go to a new game, and you can just start it again, like so. You can try, if you make it more relaxing, you can technically have more resources and stuff like that. And you run out raiders and stuff, but then you could just keep rolling the dice, seeing what you can get. I mean, you can do this if you want to, especially if you're new to the game or you're playing it for like a couple of weeks and you're not 100% into it, and you're going to go like this. You can choose a location, but okay, what's this location I got here? Okay, you can see here I got iron rich deposit and a stone deposit. Now they're both rich. That's very, very interesting. But what I'm going to do is, I don't like the fact, I'm going to pause this to a little bit of a cheeky cheat. And I'm like, you know what? I don't like the fact how this hunter's lodge is so far away. So I'm just going to build that there, build that there. And I'm going to keep, as you can see, literally forcing it. And look, I've now moved it to the central location. Just press tab. And then you can just demolish all these like so. And then you can see, look, now I got a perfect start, because what I've done here is I've forced these animals to migrate. And then I've got everything nearby. Now, there's one final thing I want to say to you is make sure you get a forester, and then you're making sure you're putting trees back in this area, because this berry supply and then this hunter supply, if there's no trees nearby, can technically lose the migration. They can just all disappear into extinction. So one thing I would say is make sure you do have a forester. But you can see this is a good setup, and this King's Road is very, very important. This is where, like, you can argue all the people will come in and the traders with these trade zones like this. So I normally like to put a trade zone in between at least one of these zones and my city, so like my people can walk to that, or like if you want to supply, if you have a supply issue, you can put a trading post near your city, and then in fact people can just run in, the horses can just run in and start doing their trading. It's up to you whichever way you want to do it. It depends on your supply issues, but that is how you can get one of the best setups in Manor Lords. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll catch you next time.